Adequate notice of this meeting has been provided to the Co-Star, the official newspaper of the Borough of Belmar, and the Asbury Park Press on December 2nd, 2020, and notice of this meeting was posted on the bulletin board of the municipal building.
Thank you, April. If everybody can join me in saluting the flag of our great nation. Everybody can just remain standing for a moment for our troops, their families, all of our first responders, and Eleanor Hill passed away since our last meeting, was the mother of Chief Jack Hill, or ex-Chief Jack Hill, and Ann Palmazzano also passed away, and she was the mother of another ex-Chief, Tom Palmazzano. Thank you. Let's see, workshop discussions. April, do we have anything for workshop tonight?
Anything?
Does any of the council members have anything for workshop that they want to talk about?
Answered my question inside. I was just wondering about what do you call it?
Oh,
They're
yeah.
coming back, yeah.
All right, we don't have nothing for workshop on for tonight, so we'll move on to petitions. April, we have any?
No, we do not.
Approval of minutes.
Can I have a motion to approve the minutes of the September 7th meeting?
Motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Thank you.
Thank you. Reports of council, Councilman Corvelli.
Mayor. Let's see, all right, last night was the planning board meeting, all of 10 minutes. We had a review and update to the small cell infrastructure ordinance, which is on for second reading tonight. That was passed with little discussion since there's no real material change there. The last 2 weekends have been busy, and thankfully the weather has cooperated. I did not get to all of the 9/11 events, but I did make it to Light Up the Shore. That was a great tribute, and I wanted to thank the county commissioners for putting that up, setting that up, and also attending here in Belmar. This past Friday was a fundraiser given by the Friendly Sons of the Shillelagh for the benefit of the Belmar Rec Department and the junior lifeguards. I'm sure the mayor will have additional details on that. And then, of course, all of the San Gennaro events this past week. Monday was the dinner at La Dolce Vita, and I wanted to just thank Nikki from La Dolce Vita for hosting that. Saturday there was a mass and a procession to the feast that was hosted by St. Rose, so thank you to them. And to everyone else that made it a success. I think it was a great turnout. And one final congrats to this year's honorees, Lena from Sweet for the Italian-American Businesswoman of the Year, Mike Malango, he was the Businessman of the Year, and then, of course, my mom and dad, John and Marianne, for the son and daughter. So it was a great weekend, and yeah, I enjoyed it. So that's all I have. That's my report. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you. Councilman McCracken.
Thank you, Mayor. Yeah, I just want to echo some of the comments that Councilman Carvelli made. You know, I think the past 2 weeks have certainly made me proud of being a Belmar resident, starting with the events of 9/11, organizations such as the Jersey Shore Running Club, the Belmar Housing Authority, the Friendly Sons of the Shillelagh, the Monmouth County, of course the borough and others, all hosting events to recognize the 20th anniversary of that tragic event that took place, and remember all of those who lost their lives, and keep in our prayers all of the families that were affected that day. Then we pivoted into, you know, another week of just sort of, you know, normal Belmar stuff, and into the San Gennaro Festival. You know, several organizations in town held halfway to St. Patrick's Day parties, which are kind of fun. The Friendly Sons of Shillelagh, a subcommittee, including Councilman Carvelli and I, held a beefsteak on Friday evening. We raised over $11,000 for Belmar recreation programs, had 250 people there. It was a great attended event. People had a good time, and it was for a great cause. And then, of course, the San Gennaro festival this weekend, with the Mass, starting with the Mass in St. Rose, and the festival and the fun parade we had going down Main Street. Was always a good time. And, once again, as Councilman Carvelli said, congratulations to all those honorees. So a lot of events going on in Belmar, and just makes it nice to be a part of this town and this community. Just as from our liaison perspective, the Shade Tree Commission met on September 15th. The Shade Tree Commission will be involved in the anniversary coming up next year for Belmar, and is looking at various programs to various ways to participate in that upcoming exciting year. And we've got two members going to the Shade Tree Federation Conference, which is great, and we're getting some materials to recognize Belmar as a Tree City USA. So that's a great group, really cares about town, how we look, and every meeting is constantly trying to figure out ways to keep the character of our town and improve it even more. So it's nice to be a liaison to that group as well. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Councilman Brennan?
Mr. Mayor, I just want to echo the comments of Councilman Carvelli and Councilman McCracken about the events of the past 2 weekends, particularly the 9/11 memorial, where we held up our phones and lighted up the shore. The flag on the fire truck, on the hook and ladder truck. It was really something to be there. I felt, I'm not sure what the right word is. I have a lot of really conflicting emotions on that day, and it was really good that everybody was there. I think it was really important that we all commemorated it as a group. And it was really nice to have the San Gennaro events come right on the heels of that. That was something I felt was very, very healing, very healing. I have a huge report, actually. There was a Harbor Commission meeting this past Tuesday. The marina is doing really, really well. I have some numbers in front of me comparing the entire 12 months of 2020 with just the first 9 months of 21. And we're already ahead on fuel sales, and we're ahead on season slip rentals. I'm constantly telling people this. I mean, the marina went through so much, and it was really in disarray with all the construction going on for years. It's finally paying off. I mean, the marina's been full, basically pretty much full. The only number that's really kind of down is daily transient slip rentals, and that's because we don't have availability. I mean, there just aren't any slips for them to rent because they're already rented. It's really, really good. We were very pleased that the mayor was able to attend the meeting, and I hope the mayor would speak to this. One of the things that's come up now, that we've done a lot of cosmetic work. The awnings have been replaced. Everything looks great, but right now there's some serious infrastructure needs over at the marina, in particular electrical work on some of the docks. And it's good. I mean, we're making money, so now we're going to spend money so we can make more money. We can't let this kind of maintenance go. It's really going to be important if it gets, So we're setting up a plan. The engineers are looking at the work that needs to be done, what needs to be prioritized, and we're definitely going to get all that done. A capital plan is exactly what we need over with the marina, because I'm assuming that we're going to stay full. I mean, not for nothing, but we have the lowest fuel prices of any marina between Raritan Bay and Barnegat. I mean, we raised our prices, and we're still the lowest, and it's really paying off that way. So I'm really looking forward to seeing what we're going to do in the future with that. The Environmental Commission had a meeting, and I got to attend that. One of the things they're working on over there is they need to update their mission statement and their bylaws. It's just to make it more official. It's really good to have that kind of thing there, so when people need to refer to something, they have it there in front of them. And a big shout out to the Commissioner Tom Burke, who's really doing the legwork on this. He's put together a draft, and it's going to be voted on in the next meeting. One of the two other things came up at the meeting. A few years ago, some of you may remember, in 2012, my wife, who was on the council at the time and was very involved with the Environmental Commission, put together a walking tour of Belmar called the Belmar Treasure Trail. There was a podcast, and there were signs with at different sites all around town. And it was done with cooperation between the Environmental Commission, the Historical Society, and the Belmar Arts Council. So some of the sites are historical, and some of them are artistic, and some of them are environmental. And it was all finished in the summer of 2012, and then Sandy happened, and several of the things that were on the trail just don't exist anymore, and there are new things that need to be updated. So they had started a revision in 2015, and it just was one of those things that never got to, I guess you'd say. But now we're going to do it for the anniversary next year. We're already taking out the materials, and we're going to be in contact with, really kind of looks like my wife and I are going to be doing at least the lion's share in the beginning. We need to check the sites, we need to see what's there, what needs to be updated, what needs to be eliminated, and then we're going to work with the Belmar Library. The Belmar Library is very interested in being involved in this project. Part of what they want to do is put together some YouTube videos about not only about the treasure trail itself, but also in the making of it. And I was really surprised. I actually went and listened to the podcast. It's still there.
Oh, that's good.
You would
Save you a little legwork.
Yeah, you recognize my melodious voice. I read half the stuff. But that's a big part of what we're going to be doing, and we're going to be reaching out to the different groups to see about their input, again, about what needs to be updated and what they would like to see happen with it. And the other thing that came up is Belmar has a single-use plastic bag ordinance already, just like the rest of the state. And in May of 2020, we updated that to include styrofoam and plastic straws, but we put a sunrise into that ordinance where it's not going to be in effect until November, but that came up at the commission meeting. They want to know what are we doing about that, because in November, we're going to have to start making sure our businesses that are still using styrofoam and plastic straws are aware of the fact that, we have this ordinance that's going to, we're ahead of the state, but the state's law is going to come in May of 22, and theirs is actually stricter than ours as far as plastic paper bags and things like that. So I'm going to be working with the business administrator and code enforcement to start to see if we can make sure that the businesses know that this is coming, so that they can remember, because we gave it a long sunrise period because COVID was starting, and we wanted to make sure these businesses had every opportunity to stay in business and do what they could. And we didn't want them to have to deal with this on top of it. But it seems like now we're as normal is going to be for a while, and I think it's time to start to make sure that people realize that this is where we're going. We need to cut down on the amount of plastic pollution and styrofoam pollution that are going into the environment. And I think Belmar's ready to lead the way on that. So that's my report. Thank you.
Thank you. Council President Juan.
Thank you, Mayor. I guess I could just go along with the other. Time of year here. I guess we call and it is a the night. You're welcome. And thank everybody. San Gennaro was great. Congratulations to all the members of the businesses. It's just been a wonderful week. As far as my committees, I'll have a report for you next meeting. My committees meet at the end of the month. Thank you very much.
Mr. Mayor, if I could, I forgot one really important thing.
Yes, go ahead.
I forgot to tell you, I met with DPW today down at the boardwalk. We are going to do our second round of beach planting on Wednesday, October 20th. So mark your calendars. We have quite a bit more territory to plant this year. We're going to do a lot more of the boardwalk. We took a look at what worked last year and what didn't, and we're going to try some things to make sure that we don't have as much die-off. You expect some, but not as much as we got from last year. It was really disappointing, but I think we're going to try some new things. October 20th, Wednesday. Thanks.
Yeah, I just want to reiterate what everybody else said. I mean, we had 2 great weekends. I want to thank the police department for doing a great job over the past 2 weekends, along with DPW and all of our departments. You know, putting on these events takes a lot of planning and getting everything together, and they did a great job. The 9/11, I really have to thank the fire department for the light up the boardwalk. The fire department members were there. They had the flag up. Even for the silent run, they came down. They were committed on putting the flag up for the people that were doing the run, with Timmy Mahoney that does that run every year. And it was really nice to see that everybody came together for the 20th anniversary, and I want to thank all those departments. Just a little bit more on the marina. I mean, we did have a great year, but we did have some problems down the marina, which our engineers are taking a look at. We really have to do an in-depth plan of how we're going to handle it. We have 2 docks that have to be rewired because some of the wires went underwater, and we had problems this summer that they had to take care of. But now they're in a situation where they have to be rewired, and we're looking at the other docks that have to be rewired. Also down at the marina, we had 2 of the sewage pumps, which were like $60,000 a piece, that had to be replaced for one of the bathrooms. And we're looking at some of the fuel piping underneath the dock has to be replaced. So even though we had a really good year at the marina, that money's going to be spent on actually doing a lot of infrastructure work down there. So, and I want to thank the Friendly Sons of the Shillelaghs. I mean, they planned the event. They had the beefsteak. It was a planned event for the Belmar Recreation. They did an outstanding job. I know Councilman Carvelli and Councilman McCracken were heavily involved with the planning, but to raise $11,000 for our recreation is really nice of them to do that. And we always can count on them when you know, they came to us and they wanted to do something for the town, and they came up with raising money for recreation. So they did a great job, and I really want to thank them. But and we had over the weekend. The water was rough. We had to have our water rescue team come out with our chief lifeguard, Harry Harson, and they saved a person. That good thing that we have this team in place, because if they weren't there, they wouldn't have made it. But I'm happy to report that they got her out of the water, and she's going to make it. So that's. I want to give kudos to the water rescue team, led by our chief lifeguard. And I think that's all I have. So we'll move on to public session on resolution items.
Okay. If anyone from the public would like to comment on one of the resolutions, please step forward, state your name and address.
Okay, April, seeing none.
Okay, can I have a motion to close the public session?
Motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Can I have a motion to approve the resolutions as listed on the consent agenda?
Motion.
Second.
Okay. Councilman Brennan?
Yes.
Councilwoman Wan?
Yes.
Mayor Walsifer?
Yes.
Councilman McCracken?
Yes.
Councilman Carvelli?
Yes.
Next is second reading and public hearing on Ordinance 2021-30. This is an ordinance amending adopted Ordinance 2021-15 entitled Small Cell Equipment. This is open for public comment. If you wish to speak on this ordinance, please step forward, state your name and address.
April?
Can I have a motion to close the public hearing?
Motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Can I have a motion to adopt Ordinance 2021-30?
Motion. Motion.
Okay. Councilman Brennan?
Yes.
Councilman Wan?
Yes.
Mayor Walsifer?
Yes.
Councilman McCracken?
Yes.
Councilman Carvelli?
Yes.
And last is first reading and introduction on Ordinance 2021-31. This is an ordinance amending Chapter 25, Buildings, to designate regulations for the demolition of buildings. Do we have a motion to offer for first reading?
I'll make the motion.
Okay. Councilman Brennan?
Yes.
Councilwoman Wan?
Yes.
Mayor Walsifer?
Yes.
Councilman McCracken?
Yes.
Councilman Carvelli?
Yes.
Okay. On the public session, anybody has any questions for the council? Yes. Just state your name and address, please.
Sure. Pardon me. My name is Jane Salmon, 1613 Route 71. I'm here with, from a group that has formed because of the skate park. We're calling ourselves the Friends of Belmar Skate Park. We're a group of parents, business owners, and skaters. As you know, the Belmar Skate Park has been closed since May 2021. And we are asking for the skate park to at least be added to the next town council meeting agenda. We need to get some answers for the borough's plans for it, because right now the silence is deafening. There are rumors that the borough wants the lot for more paid parking. If that is the case, then we need you to consider a new location in town. The community needs the skate park, the kids need the skate park.
Well, that's only a rumor, I can tell you that. We're not
Okay.
looking for more paid parking.
All right.
But our business administrator can explain to you exactly what's going on. Believe me, I want it open as much as you do. But
Okay.
we have to listen to our professionals, our insurance company.
Sure.
So business administrator, if you could just speak on that for a moment.
Yes, the insurance company contacted us. They went down and took pictures of the skate park and after January of this year. They deemed it unsafe. They advised us to get a qualified surveyor to give us a situational report in regards to the skate park. We did so. I want to say if the Fifth Avenue Parks or something like that, that constructed, I think Bricktown and some of the other skate parks in Monmouth and Ocean County areas, sent me a list that it's outlived its usefulness life, it's not safe any longer,
Okay.
and quoted me a price of about $150,000 to $300,000 to redo it. I know that I think you spoke at the last meeting.
Yes, I did.
You live on 71 in Walt Township? I think we,
Right on the border, yeah, but
But-
we live so close that my son does use the skate
I
park.
think we spoke on the phone.
Yes, we did.
Okay. We, as far as the funding goes, I know that you spoke about the gentleman that owns the skate shop.
Correct.
He had sent an email to the mayor and council. I called him the next day. He never returned my call, so I know that there's supposed to be volunteer work. The insurance company has made it clear they want a qualified company to redo the skate park. It's 20 years, I believe it's outlived its usefulness, and it's not safe.
Okay.
So that's where we're at. I think I spoke to you on the phone that you want to do some fundraising efforts.
Correct.
We would welcome some fundraising efforts.
Okay.
If there was fundraising efforts to redo that entire skate park, we're all ears. I told you that on the phone. I've told a couple other people. I'll work with you on that.
Okay.
But we have to, and I told you on the phone, $300,000 for a skate park, $300,000 for a fire truck. We need first aid. These are the things. There's plans in place to redo all our recreation, and they start we started in January of 19 for some of the recreation programs. We were able to do some of the basketball courts and the pickleball courts and the tennis courts, but that's all in planning.
Okay.
Taxpayer funding for $300,000 for a skateboard park, it's tough to do. So
understand.
I'll work with you. I told you that on the phone. We'll work with you on any fundraising efforts that you have.
Okay. Need to maybe, I don't know, have a meeting, a one-on-one meeting or something
Yeah,
to
you can call me.
discuss it further? Okay.
Sure, not a problem.
Yeah, that would be great. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Yes.
Hi, Francine Forte, 114 8th Avenue, Belmar. I spoke very informally with you, Mr. Kirschenbaum, about the setup for Mahjong, okay, at the pavilion. And I did contact Irene, who, she used to teach Mahjong at the library, and then she opened it up, you know, to the pavilion. But my thoughts are, go this way. It doesn't have to really be Mahjong. Other towns have what they call a designated day of the week for seniors called Game Day, where people just come in. If someone wants to play canasta, they play canasta. If someone wants to play bridge, they play bridge. If someone wants to play Mahjong, they play Mahjong. It doesn't have to be designated Mahjong. I was just kind of wondering, who is in charge of recreation for the town of Belmar?
Well,
Who's going to be doing that?
well, we have our recreation director, but we're opening things up now, and we could call it game day, that's fine. You know, we'll just get together and figure out what days that
And
everybody
all they
wants
have
to
to
use it.
do is set up tables, if we shouldn't really have it on a Wednesday because it conflicts with Avon, because a lot of the people from Belmar go to Avon. I mean, they haven't
Well,
started
you
up
could
yet, but they're
contact our
planning on
business
doing.
administrator and figure out which day that you guys
Right.
want to do it, and we'll direct it to our
I mean, it should just
recreation
be a
director.
game day. They just have to set up tables and people have a place to go. I mean, people are, asking all over the place, well, what could we do? We want something.
Nobody's called me. I believe you were I was at one of the events on the beach and you yelled from the boardwalk.
Yeah.
Yeah, just call me. Nobody's called me for anything. I know we're talking to the Women's Club to set them up now that the pavilion's open again. All you have to do is call me and we'll set up through Mary Barbizon, so there's no conflicting dates or times.
So who really isn't,
Just-
it's
ju-
going
just
to
call
be
me.
you?
Just call me.
I will. Okay,
All right?
thank you.
Now, if you want to talk after the meeting, I'll take your number.
Great,
All right.
thank you.
Yes.
Hey guys, how are you? Rashid Simmons, Simply Southern, 817 Belmar Plaza. I pretty much know most of you. Thank you for hearing me out. I'm here today because I got a letter last week from my landlord basically speaking about the tents and things, outdoor dining, coming down October 18th. And I just kind of want to get a little clarity about that because my initial thought process and the notice that I got was for November for the tents to come down and outdoor dining to cease. And with it coming down a few weeks early, it really puts a strain on some of the small businesses over there in the plaza. So I was kind of putting myself out there to see if we could get that to the original date, which was in November, first week in November, I do believe. Kind of stick to that date. That's what I bought the tent based off of, and the others based off of who have tent set up. And I was just trying to see if we could get something worked out with that.
Well, I think you really have to talk to your landlord because he's the one that's pressuring us to get that parking back. So I think, right, Mr. Kirschenbaum?
Yeah, Kevin Jacobs called me.
He's the one that's really pressuring us to open up that parking lot. I fought him off all summer
Yes.
because I know you guys really needed the boost for this summer after last year. So he wanted the parking back last May, and I said, we got to give these guys a break. They went through a whole year of COVID, and so we worked it out with them. He wanted it October 1st, I believe, right?
Okay.
And
That's
we said,
correct.
well, let's push it out as far as we can, and we said, well, get you through the 15th weekend, and but he's the one that's been kicking and screaming. He wants his parking back. So
Not to interrupt, but if I speak to Kevin Jacobs, and I'm sure he's going to bounce it back on you guys, because that's how it goes.
He has some construction that has to be done, I believe.
The roof that he was trying to get done on the other side of the building, which to my understanding was supposed to be done towards the later part of fall. So, I just kind of back and forth we go.
They were the ones that requested it. They basically control a lot of that lot area. So like the mayor said, we told him that we wanted to keep it during the summer because we know that all the businesses there had some problems and had some issues. We want everybody to make what they can make up based on what happened with COVID. We know that. He was gracious enough to give us all this time, but That's that's why we waited till after dawn to discover, because we want that to prove successful for all our businesses. So that's where we're at.
Absolutely.
And Mrs. Fowler is running a fundraiser there, so that was another reason why we pushed him off till the 17th.
Got you.
Because he wanted it October 1st.
Well, guys,
So-
thank you for your time.
But you could talk to him.
Thank you. I will.
Thank you.
Anyone else? Oh, yes.
Claire Hayner, 221 18th Avenue.
Hi, Claire.
Thank you all for all that you do, first off. It's truly appreciated. And I just want a friendly reminder for the New Jersey Run for the Fallen, which will be running through the town this Sunday at approximately 9:35. They'll start down, they'll be coming down the coast, and they should hit Belmar around 9:30 or so. And they'll be stopping at Ocean and North Boulevard, as well as Fifth Avenue at the flagpole. So,
Okay.
thank
We
you.
have the fire truck set up, right, Mrs. Mr.?
Fire truck is set up to be at Ocean Avenue, North Boulevard, and then one of the officers that was working that day will do the escort.
Thank you.
So they'll be in that area that morning at 9:30.
Appreciate it. Thank you all.
Okay. Yes.
Kyle Rizzatello, 14th Avenue, Belmar. Couple questions. 14th Avenue one-way, I requested this months ago, and I've been told we're waiting for signs or whatever. What is the real delay? What is the actual delay?
I spoke to you at Light Up the Shore.
Right.
We're making sure that we cross our Ts and dot our Is based on the engineering report. I'm just trying to work with Chief Scott on that. We had passed the resolution or ordinance last year. We just have to make sure that we have everything properly in place, because we don't want to have to redo this again. So before we make that move, I've been working with Chief Scott on all the issues. We're working on other stop signs and all the traffic issues through town. It's on our list of things to do to make sure we get it right.
All right, because it is a safety hazard right now. You can't even get, I've watched FedEx and UPS, and they're like, okay, who's going to go first?
That's
Who's
why
playing chicken?
That's why we're working with it, but we want to do it the right way.
All right, do we know how long this is going to be?
As soon as I get all the answers that I need.
Okay, the roads, L Street, K Street, L Street between 16th and 35, K Street between 14th and 35, and 14th between L and K are disgusting. When are we going to get some repaving done over there?
I know our engineers are putting a plan together for all the roads. So we're doing a 5-year plan. I don't know where that is in the plan. I got to talk to the engineers to find out, but they're the ones that are putting a 5-year plan together to get a lot of these roads resurfaced. Well, a lot of it has to do with what the infrastructure is underneath and taking a look at that. So I know Inlet Terrace is next after 15th and 12th are finished up. But everything is backed up because of COVID. Even trying to get 15th Avenue done and finish up on 12th Avenue, it's all set to be done. We're just waiting for them to get here. But
Okay.
so I don't know where those streets are, but they have a whole 5-year plan.
Come
so.
ride down our streets. You don't even have to go on a roller coaster, just ride down our streets.
Well, there's, unfortunately, there are so many streets like that in this town.
I know.
There wasn't paving done for quite some time, but we've revitalized some of the grant programs when we came in 2019. So we have an engineering plan, 5-10-year plan, to make sure that we continue with the Transportation Trust Fund grants to make sure that we do all our roadways. But like the mayor said, infrastructures are concerned because 15th Avenue backed us up with the water main and things of that nature. So there's a lot more to it. We are on it. We're trying to get the best we can.
Okay. And the third thing is, I'm not sure how to handle this, so I'm going to ask. Westport Plaza, Westport Townhouses. Now, my house is right next to that. Wires from my house go across the street to a telephone pole. Those lovely tall Christmas trees that were put up for so-called privacy, every time the wind is blowing, it's now hitting the wires on my house. So, if the wires come off my house, who's responsible? Me. All I'm asking is the tops of those trees to be cut below the wires that go to my house. That's all.
Call me tomorrow, or send me an email, and I'll see who's responsible to make it happen. Just call me.
You sure?
I'm telling you. All right?
Because I don't want to see the next windy day coming by, and my husband and I are looking, we're like, look at the
This is
tops
the
of
first that I'm
trees.
hearing of it, right? You haven't said this to me before.
No, I put reports in about it, though.
Just, I'll take care of it. Just, I'll see what has to be done. We'll talk to the
I'm just looking for not having a fire.
I hear you. We'd rather solve something before it
Trees and
happens.
wires don't mix.
We know that.
Okay,
Thanks, Kyle.
thank you.
Yes.
Hi, Sharon Russell Fowler from the Belmar Library. Just wanted to give you an update on the Pat Roddy concert. It's now going to be on the 29th, which is next Wednesday, starting at 5 o'clock. So that was the rescheduled date. Okay? And then on another subject, since we were talking about streets, what's the status of sidewalks? I know it's a sore subject. Well, all the sidewalks that, remember, they were supposed to be X'd and fixed and so on. This is going
I
back
thought they
2 to
finished
3
them all
years
up.
ago.
Didn't they finish
Someone's
a lot of
face
them
is
up?
pretty red up there.
Well,
Anyways, just something that still needs to be worked on, because there's a lot of sidewalks that are not compliant. Thank you. Nope.
yes.
Hi, Maria Rondinaro, 1246 Pine Tree Way. Thank you. We had a wonderful San Gennaro Festival. I enjoyed it very much. Just wanted to echo support for our skate park in the west side of Belmar, west of Main Street. That is our only walkable park, Dempsey Park is, that we don't have to cross a major highway for. You know, or then go further past Main Street. And I know that a lot of children, especially the older ones, teens, this is their enjoyment. This is what they do, so they stay out of trouble. And that they can enjoy each other and do something that's cool, which isn't what our playgrounds are. Our playgrounds are for kids that are closer to my age. And I know that it's 150,000 to 300,000. It's a big difference. So I'm wondering whether, do we have a multitude of people who are giving us estimates at this point in time, or surveyors, or did we just speak to the one?
Professionals, but we need the funding in order to go out then for the legal process on how to bid for it, or, you know, request for a proposal. So this was what the insurance company wanted us to do. They wanted us to get somebody to tell us, you have to start somewhere. So we had to find out exactly what the problems were. It has outlived its useful life. It's no longer safe. Let's not even talk about money. Let's talk about safety of our children. We don't want anybody getting hurt there. So that's why we've kept it closed, we've kept it locked, and the patrols are keeping an eye on it, because we don't want anybody hurt. That's the most important thing. So once we get the funding for it, we can then go out to the proper procedures to do what we have to do to make it happen.
I know we talked about fundraising, and that's something I certainly would be interested in as well. Is that something that the borough, that you all are able to promote? Because I know there are other things that I've thought, oh, we could fundraise for that, but then we've lost them because we weren't able to, you know, to do that, or it didn't come out to the public. Is that something that the mayor and council can actually promote and push, like, hey, we need fundraising for this? Like, for example, the shillelaghs, thank you so much for doing what you did for the recreation department. You know, is that something that we can let people know we are raising money as a town?
Well, you can, I think Patrick can probably best.
Hello? Yep. So yes, I mean, we can reach out to groups and seek charitable donations, and we could post on social media that this is some fundraising that's going on. So certainly, yes, it can be a joint effort between the town, the council, and the group.
Okay, I would love if after your meeting with Ms. Salmon, that maybe we can all work together as a town for this one, so that we don't lose. I mean, it's fine if you have another place for the skate park that's accessible to our kids by foot, and that works better, that's cheaper, you know, by all means. But at this point, it would be a big loss for kids who've had enough loss. So I know that sometimes it takes time and it takes planning, but we also want to give the grace to those teens that need that park back. Thanks. Oh, one more thing. I would really love the continuation of Zoom meetings for our meetings so that we can stay safe during the COVID pandemic. Thank you.
Anyone else?
I do have one email for the public comment from Sherry Russo, who could not attend the meeting. She asked me to read this. It says, since Belmar residents do not have any amenities, would it be possible to have year-round parking at the marina? It would help the elderly, the disabled, and parents with small children. There could be a sticker given to residents who request one with a cost of $1 to cover expenses.
I'm not sure I understand the year-round parking.
Year-round parking.
There is free parking in the marina.
I don't know.
All right, well, we'll have to ask the next meeting for her to clarify it. Okay, seeing none, April? Oh, one more.
Hi, Maria Rondinaro, 1246 Pine Tree Way. This is a perfect example of why the live streaming versus Zoom, that Zoom is much better. For Ms. Russo, she could have answered your question or given clarification. You could have asked furthering questions for her. So it's the accessibility of our town meetings, unfortunately, has really dropped. And please, for this exact reason, reconsider. Thank you.
Okay, April?
Can I have a motion to close the public session and adjourn?
Motion.
All in favor?
All right. All right, thank you, everyone.